funky car.
Maybe we'll meet at a bar. He'll drive a funky car. So much fun. I'll be the girl of his dreams. Falling for you was a damn disease. Holding it down, I knew you was messing around. You wanna go play in the streets. Maybe we'll meet at a club and fall so deeply in love. He'll tell me I'm the one, and we'll be both.
Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shanae, and here we do all things books, book obsessing, book crying, book reading, book buying, book yapping, all things book we do here. So welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're not. I have been gone for a while. Who let me? I've been socializing too hard and I've put my books to the side. It's time to get back into it because I miss my books, I miss my reading, I miss my bookish friends, I miss posting on Bookstagram, Book Talk, BookTube. So I'm gonna get back to it now by hopefully preparing us for a month of reading, okay? Because I was semi in a slump for the past month and a half, 2 months. So hopefully this ambitious TBR is going to get me out of it. So welcome, and we're going to be doing an overly ambitious April TBR. As always, that is what I do best, making unattainable reading goals for myself. But why not? Because it's fun, okay? I like to have my options. If I don't get to them all, at least I have a good amount to pick from, okay? So that's what we're going to do today. And we're still working on getting a reading slump, hopefully reading some amazing reads this month. It's April 2nd, so happy April. And I am going away this weekend to a music festival, a country music festival on the beach. And then I'm driving down south for that. And then I'm staying there for 2 days after the festival and then flying to Colombia for a wedding with a bunch of my friends for like 5 days, and then flying back and then driving back up here where I live. So we have lots of traveling to hopefully get books in with that, and then also lots of hanging out, chilling on the beach by the pool, hopefully getting a lot of books in with that as well, and then the rest of the month. So fingers crossed we can get through books. I have some books that I'm currently in the middle of that I've been reading again for the past month and a half, and then audiobooks I want to do, and then also physical books and new releases. So let's get right into it. If you're new here, I do not always know what a book is about. I go based off the vibes of other besties or just hearing about it maybe once or twice and I'm like, that sounds good, let me get it. But I don't always know what's happening. So keep that in mind. First, I am reading The New York Charm. I don't have the physical book. It came out recently. It came out last month in March. I got the arc of it by Riley Winters. This is like a rom-com, little like second chance lovers romance book. And I was really enjoying it. I have not finished it yet. So I want to finish that one. I do want to buy it too to put on my shelves because we love a good bestie on Book Talk, Bookstagram, publishing a book. Stunning. But it follows our main character and she's moving to New York to like kick off her career. And she runs into her ex on the plane going to New York. Turns out he's also moving there. He got a new job and now they have to like kind of work together with their companies. And now it's kind of a forced proximity romance. And then we're also trying to figure out what happened in the past, why they're not together. So I'm excited. I am enjoying it so far, so I really want to continue reading that. Next, I also did start... Where's my dust jacket? Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. This is a book too, the last book in the duology, first book being The Crimson Moth. I got this book before it came out. It came out early at my Barnes & Noble. I finished Crimson Moth. I loved it. Started reading this one, never finished it. The slump was starting to slump then, and I'm really excited to get into this book. I really enjoyed the first book, like I said, and I've heard nothing but amazing things that this one's even better than the first one. If you don't know what the series is about, it's a duology and it follows a witch and a witch hunter. And in the society, all the people, like the kingdom is overthrew the witch queens, and now anyone who's a witch they execute. And there's blood magic in here, so witches like use blood from themselves or others to perform their magic, but as a result they get scars on them from using their blood. But it's also was viewed as like a beautiful thing in art when the witches were in power, but now it's a way to tell that a witch is a witch. Okay, so our main girl is a witch, but she's like trying to save all the other witches being executed, and our main guy is a witch hunter, and the girl happens to be the most infamous witch that he is hunting. And they also form a little connection, like rivals, like there's a banter. They're kind of sussing each other out because she knows that he is obviously like the leader of like the army getting rid of the witches, and he kind of thinks that she might be the Crimson Moth, but he's not sure. There's like a back and forth tension with trying to him do what's right for his law and her do what's right for her law, but then also a romance ensuing, and then the ending was ate it up. So I'm so excited to continue with this one, so we must read it. I say must for probably all these books, but will I get to them all? We shall see. But I'm very excited to read this one. Next, this is book 2, but I'm currently finishing book 1, and that is The Ever King by L.J. Andrews. So I'm in real life book club here where I live, and I met these girls by going to Barnes & Noble one day. Not Barnes & Noble. I went to Starbucks one day. I saw a girl with like a Best Guys shirt on, and I told her I loved her shirt, and they were meeting up for the first time to talk about Onyx Storm. So I joined them, and now I'm in the book club, and we yap on Facebook messages, and we have books that we're reading like every month. So we are reading The Ever King, and we had finished it. I haven't finished it yet because I wasn't sure if I was going to go to book club because I was traveling, but I'm listening to an audio and I have like 2 hours left of that one, so I really want to finish it. I am really enjoying it. And then we're also reading book 2. They're meeting up this weekend. I can't because I'll be out of town, but I do want to continue reading it to stay up to date with everyone. And again, I've heard really good things about the ending for Ever King, and then some of the girls are reading this one now and enjoying it, so I'm very excited. This is a fae fantasy darkish romance with like Pirates of the Caribbean vibes because it's sea fae for part of them. So our main girl, my character, lives in the fae realm obviously, and she has her parents who are like the rulers of the section of the realm or the section of the kingdom that they're in. And as a little girl, she would go to like the prison and talk to this little boy that was being held there. He's the Ever King. He's like the ruler of the sea fae, and there's like a big separation between the earth fae and the sea fae, and a huge just like political separation between them, and he's viewed as like the bad guy and like this horrifying terrible person. And she ends up being, I don't know what it tells you in the back, okay, so maybe I shouldn't say everything, but something happens and now they're interacting again, and it's like a tension, enemies to lovers vibe. Well, enemies to lovers, maybe they won't be lovers, who knows. But tension, there's intrigue. She's learning more about this world of the sea fae that she didn't know before, more about the past and what's going on. So I'm excited to see how it ends, where it goes, and then where this book continues. But yeah, so I really hope I can get to this one. I might do the audiobook as well. I do enjoy the audiobook. They're like British, I think, so it's fun listening to it and hearing it, but I am enjoying it so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Are those all the books that I'm currently reading? Next are 2 new releases that I just bought today. Actually, I didn't realize they're out, and I got them immediately, and I was like, yes. So I will be starting these like almost tomorrow, okay? Because I'm so excited. But first we have The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Jessa Hastings is the author of Magnolia Parks, okay? And if you don't know that book, that author, I love those books with my entire heart and soul. I love Jessa. I love her writing style. It's so unique, like nothing I've ever read before, and I'm obsessed. So she releases something new, I will be reading it. And this book came out yesterday, I think April 1st, 2nd. First, I don't know what this one's about, but she writes it. I will read it, I promise you that. And look at this cover, it's so pretty. Oh, I'm so excited. I miss her writing, I miss her worlds, and I cannot wait. It's just life. She writes about just such unique and such, she has like no box that she puts herself in. She doesn't consider herself to have any specific genre that she writes. So I just love going into her books and just seeing what happens and falling in love with her characters and her world and the realities and just like the brutal honesty of the situations or her writing. Anyways, I'm so excited. I don't know much. I probably won't really read much into what it's about. I'm just gonna go into it and read it and have a fantastic time. So I can't wait. And then next, another new release that also just came out that I didn't realize was out yet, and that is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Look at it. I love Abby Jimenez. I've read all her books. Well, like the Part of Your World and Friend Zone series, I read those all. I love them so much. One of my absolute favorite romance books ever. If it's kind of dark, I'm sorry. It's nighttime. I love her book so much. I love her writing. There's always a romance, but it's always like hard hitting and moving, full of like life lessons and growth and just pain, but like beauty. It's just, I'm so excited. This one just came out. Again, I don't know much about this one, okay? I just know it's Abby Jimenez, so an auto by author. She writes it. I will buy it. I probably won't go into it knowing much, but it says they met, they fought, then they fell hard. I'm so excited. And it's not super long either, so I can't wait to read this one. I also see people kind of crying, I think, a lot while reading it. So an emotional roller coaster, which again, I love books that make me cry. Crying over fictional characters and worlds is my favorite thing, okay? So reading this one very, very soon. Okay, next is a book that I want to continue for a series that I'm reading, and I have one of my friends from the book club message me asking me if I had read the 2nd book in the series yet, and I said no, because she's currently reading the 1st book, and she was like, do you want to buddy read it maybe next week? And I said, oh, why not? I'd love to. So that's A Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. This is book 2 in the Red Rising trilogy. This is like a sci-fi series that I started reading because of a book bestie on Book Talk raving about it, obsessing over it, and so I started reading it. I read Red Rising earlier this year, I believe, and I did the audiobook with it because it really helped staying engaged because I don't read sci-fi books or sci-fi fantasy, but I did really enjoy the 1st book and where it all went. It was very like dark but atmospheric, and there was like a mystery, didn't know who to trust, It was intense. It was giving Hunger Games vibes at one point. So I was really enjoying it and really intrigued. And so I can't wait to continue the series. It follows our main character, Darrow, and they live on Mars, essentially trying to make it inhabitable for people to come live there. And they're ranked by class, by color, this red, gold, and yeah, I don't know what the colors are. Red, gold, pinks. There's different colors, and the colors kind of put you in the order of class here. And so the red's like the lowest, and they're basically being conditioned to think that they're being used as a help, but they're also just being used to be used. So it's a big take on just like politics, class, society. So I'm really excited to see where this series continues and where it goes. I've heard amazing things about it, and I cannot wait to read this one. And I will probably also do the audiobook while reading it, so immersive reading it to keep me engaged. But I also sometimes like to annotate books that are more complex to help me stay even more engaged with the audio, with annotating, and with physically reading it. So that's probably my plan, but I'm excited. Next is another semi-new release. It's my first book by this author, and that is Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. This book, I think, semi came out recently. Oh, see that? The lighting? You can't even see the book. Came out semi recently. I've seen really good things about this book and her other book, Ready or Not. Don't know much about this one, but I've seen some people that I trust really raving about it. It says it's going to be a hard-hitting romance contemporary, I think, which again, my favorite. It says, grieving the loss of her best friend, a young woman finds her life turned upside down when she meets a grumpy stranger who swears he can help her live again. So I'm excited. Seems like it's going to be heartbreaking, beautiful. Hopefully the writing's beautiful. Again, my first book by this author, so I'm excited to see what I think and then potentially read Ready or Not at some point. Next is a book that was on my previous TBRs, but whatever. But I really want to read this book. I've seen, again, amazing things about it. I've seen some mixed things, but generally amazing things about it. So I'm just excited to see how it goes, what it's like, and that is Heavenly Bodies. This is supposed to be like a romantic-y book that people have been raving about, saying the writing and the pining and the beautiful world and atmosphere and the romance. So I'm very excited to read this one. I don't know much about it. I did want to read it. It was initially like an indie published book, but now it's traditionally published, and I think there's like a system with the constellations and the stars for magic. Don't know much, but again, I've heard really good things. It says, oh, it's the first book in a dazzling new romantasy series that blends Greek mythology and shadow magic with a tantalizing enemies to lovers romance that will rewrite the stars. And then it says, you know the most dangerous kind of villain? A woman with nothing to lose. So, I don't know. I'm excited. This one's also, I don't know if it actually still is, but it was on Kindle Unlimited. So if it is, I'll probably have it on my Kindle. So something I can pick up while I'm traveling. But I'm very excited to read this one. Hopefully we can get to it. I still have a lot more books, so shh. Next is another book that was on my previous TBRs, but they're still on it because I still really want to read these books. I was just slumping, okay? But that is Worthy of Fate by A.N. Caudle. It's a Realms and Perils series. I got this book at the New Romantics bookstore in Orlando, and I didn't know anything about it. I just saw the cover. It was beautiful. It sounded good on the back, so I bought it because I wanted to read something I'd never really seen much about and just kind of go into it and see what I think about it. But I have seen it, I think, a few times now on social media, but I'm really excited for it. Again, this cover is just stunning. It's just like, feels just lovely. But it says, it's a fantasy romance with an intriguing magic system, dark forces, spirits, and fated mates. I think he's looking for her, and she's going through trials. I'm excited. Again, I don't know much. I really want to read it. I want to annotate books. I miss annotating and reading and flipping through and like giggling and squealing, and that's what I'm excited to do that. Okay, I'm excited to be obsessed and geeking over fictional characters. So I can't wait. I miss annotating so badly, so I want to annotate a good amount of these books, I think. So I'm excited. But yes, anyways, I want to read this one. Sorry, I don't know much about it, but I'm so excited. Okay, next, some series I want to continue, okay? We are reading the Zodiac Academy, and we finished book 4 earlier this year, so we have to continue it because we only have like, okay, we have 5 more books left. Just kidding. But this would be book 5, Cursed Fates. This book follows Tori and Darcy, and they are twins, and they're living in the human realm, and then they end up finding out that they were fae in the fae realm, and they are actual princesses to the throne of Solaria, and their parents had died. They thought they died with them, but they didn't. Their parents had sent them to the human realm, and now they could take up their throne if they go through the academy at Zodiac Academy and prove their powers and worth to take over the throne. However, because their parents had died, the different elemental magics, the council for one for each elemental magic, there's earth, air, fire, and water, and each council for each of those elements ended up ruling together. So now each of their sons is planning on taking over the throne together. So now they have competition with each other, bully romance, enemies to lovers, back and forth tension, political scheming, don't know who to trust, romance, friendship, banter, guys, it's everything. It's so addictive. People love it, people hate it. I've been eating it up. I've been doing the audiobooks with it because it's just such a big book and a full cast of characters and there's different POVs for everyone. So it's just fun listening to it and just kind of like immersing myself like I'm watching a movie almost while listening to the book. So again, this would be a book that I would typically be listening to. I do sometimes get it on my Kindle or read it physically while listening to it, but I do the audio. So again, traveling, I can hopefully get some reading through that. Reading of this one done throughout the month and while I'm traveling, but I'm really excited to read this one. I just finished Shadow Princess and really enjoyed that book and what happened and all the drama and the way it ended. I'm so excited. So I can't wait to continue with this, and hopefully I would like to kind of read them more back to back, I think, than pacing it out so much to fully stay immersed in the story. I also feel like I want to reread them already, but whatever. But yeah, so book 5, hopefully we can get to this one and then continue the series throughout the next few months. But I'm excited to see where the story goes and where all the things happen, okay? Because I never know what's going on. The romance, I'm waiting for the romance. I'm getting the crumbs and I can't wait for it to fully emerge. And the back and forth, the girls standing on business and doing what they, their powers and everything. I love it, okay? So good. My last 2 books. This next one is again continuing a series. I had planned to read one of these books, read a book in the series every month until the new release came out. Did I? No. But nonetheless, I'm so excited to do it. And that is The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 3, I believe, in the From Blood and Ash series. And it's like an intermingled series with this other Flesh and Fire series, I think. And it's a big romantasy, fantasy world and story with like a prequel series that you intermingle between it. And I'm so excited. I've been eating it up. I read the first 2 books. The first book I read a long time ago. I reread it. And then I read the second one and really enjoyed it. I was obsessing over some characters and the romance. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. This one I do also do audiobook for it because I really enjoy the audios. But this time I'm going to annotate it because, like I said in the previous books I talked about, annotating it helps to also for me to remember more information if I'm not like reading the series back to back. Annotating it, the things stick in my head more. And I like the audiobook because there's so many characters and it feels like you're watching a movie and it's just such like an immersive, entertaining audiobook to listen to. So I'm really excited to do this one, but again I want to annotate it so I can have my little tabs and do my little notes and just keep track of everything on here for this gigantic series that this series is. But this book follows, if you've watched any of my other if you watch any of my other videos of me talking about this book series, I always say I hate talking about this series because it's the most complicated thing and I feel like I know what it is when I'm reading it, but then when I go to talk about it I'm like, I don't actually know what I'm saying. But it follows our main character Poppy, and in the beginning she is this maiden who is living with the Duke and Duchess, and she's going to be given up to the gods as a blessing, okay? And so she's like this prized possession. No one knows what she looks like. She kind of stays hidden, but Poppy kind of sneaks out sometimes to experience life without anyone knowing who she is. And there is like this enemy dark force that is kind of against them. A lot of things people don't know. There's a lot of secrets being kept hidden. She's learning more about the political aspects, the way the world is much bigger than she thought or realized, and that maybe the way she was raised is not always the truth of what is the reality of the situation and what's going on. And so we have like enemies and lovers. We have her going through this whole journey and adventure and meeting new people and all these characters and different magic. There's like vampires and werewolves and shapeshifters and a bunch of magical creatures in here. It's entertaining so far. I will say the first book I don't love. But I enjoyed it, and then it was a reread, so I just enjoyed it. And then once I got to the book 2, I really was obsessed with some of the characters in it and eating it up. So I cannot wait to read this one. I keep thinking about it when I wanted to read it earlier this year, but even when I haven't, I've still been thinking about the fact that I really want to read this book. So I can't wait to do this one. And again, annotate it. I'm so excited. How many times can I say that word? I need to expand my vocabulary. But again, cannot wait. Looking forward to this one. The last physical book I currently have is Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. I don't know much about this book. I know it came out, I think, semi-recently, and everyone's been obsessing over the writing and the quotes and the storyline and what happens in here. So I bought it, and I don't know anything about it, but the end pages are pretty, and look at it naked. It says, maybe that's all love is in the end, an endless tempting of fate. I just feel like it's a nice quick short read that I feel could be very moving and beautiful. It says The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I enjoyed, meets This Is How You Lose the Time War in a fantastical and epic love story that defies death as two souls reincarnate through the centuries. Sounds beautiful. So I'm excited, and I can't wait to read this one. And maybe I'll also bring this one with me on my trip because it's small, easily packable. and hopefully a read I can finish while laying on the beach. Who knows? But excited, excited, excited. And last but not least, I don't physically own it because it's not out yet, but my bestie Lexi on Bookstagram, me and her were just texting and she was saying like we need to buddy read something. So we're gonna read Emily Henry's new book, Big, Beautiful, Great Big Beautiful Life, Great Big Life. It's here. It's here. I'm excited to read it. Granted, I have not read much Emily Henry. I think I've read like 1 or 2 books by her. I do own all her books so far. I do want to read them all at some point. I am very excited to read her books, but I have not. But I'm gonna read this new one when it comes out because I'm excited to read it with a bestie and excited to see my thoughts on it. But I do want to read her other books at some point because they're just looking at me. I really want to read Happy Place. I don't know why that feels like it's calling my name at some point. Anyways, but yes. So I really want to read that one with her at the end of this month when it comes out. I think April 22nd. So that is a plan to do that one. Don't know how long it's going to take us to read it. But everyone's raving about it who has read it already. And people are looking forward to it. So I'm excited to be a part of this little hype train. Okay? But those are all my books. These are all the books I want to read after not having read a book in the past month and a half. Featuring 3 or 4 other books I don't even have physically with me. Wish me luck. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully I am back. Okay, hopefully we can be back to being consistent and posting videos. I miss filming reading vlogs and post reading vlogs, and I miss reading, period, and yapping to you guys about books. So hopefully we're back and we can continue this reading journey. And let me know if you've read any of these books down below, what your thoughts are on them, if you recommend them, which ones I should prioritize when I don't get to all 20,000 books on my TBR, and what books you're planning to read for April. Let me know down below. Let's yap and talk about books. Don't forget you can follow me on my Bookstagram and Book Talk, and obviously subscribe here. It's all Janae Reads _ it'll be at the end. But yes, let's be besties and yap about all things books, and I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Either a reading vlog or an old vlog that I had edited or filmed a while ago. I have yet to edit. Something. We'll figure it out. But I can't wait to get back to reading and vlogging and reading vlogs. I love reading vlogs. I love watching them. I like making them. I love being able to talk about what I'm reading while I'm reading it to my little camera and imagine my besties are listening to me. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one.